A common interest among ICMA members and attendees at the ICMA conference is building thriving communities. ICMA's Innovation and Research team is committed to helping our members reimagine approaches to better serving their residents now and in the future. I'm Emily Sparks, Director of Thriving Communities for our team, and I'm joined by Laura Gadaris, Director of Research, to talk about some of the ways that ICMA is helping local governments to boost economic mobility and opportunity for their residents. Now, Laura, when we say economic mobility and opportunity, we sometimes get asked what's meant by that. And can you tell us why we're giving our attention to this topic right now?
Sure, a great question. It's definitely not a phrase that gets used regularly or consistently by our members and people here. So honestly, I think the best way to answer that question about what it means and why it's so important is through the words of our members and their colleagues who are the true champions of this work at the local level. So to that end, I brought a video with me here to Tampa, so let's check it out.
ICMA members are champions for communities where all people have opportunities to thrive. In an effort to serve the best interest of all community members, local governments across the country are taking actions and forging partnerships that promote economic mobility and opportunity. They're working across departmental silos and engaging with broad networks of public and private partners to promote access to safe and stable housing. They're making sure families can access the essential services and infrastructure that make it possible to get to work, move up the economic ladder, and build generational wealth. They're engaging residents in new ways to foster greater public trust and strengthen the social fabric of their communities. Across the country, communities are taking action. Redwood City, California engaged over 100 youth and young adult residents in designing strategies to help them better access meaningful opportunities to learn and earn in their community. Following a service gap analysis, El Paso County, Texas is developing a public-private partnership aimed to establish a new child care center on public property. Meadville, Pennsylvania convened a housing design team to align regional partners on strategies to improve housing stability and affordability for all residents. Morgan Hill, California launched a coordinated effort to connect Spanish-speaking and lower-income residents with employment and housing resources. Dubuque, Iowa created a municipal department and comprehensive plan fully focused on eliminating poverty and ensuring all residents can access a path to prosperity. Through external funding, ICMA has supported a growing network of local governments in advancing their economic mobility and opportunity efforts. Most recently, 16 ICMA member-led communities have made bold commitments by hiring senior-level staff devoted full-time to accelerating community-informed system change. What does economic mobility and opportunity mean for these communities?
It means breaking down the structural barriers that limit access to stable housing, living wages, and essential services, especially for our refugee, immigrant, and low-income residents.
This particular opportunity allows for us to create that system to ensure that inclusivity and equity and opportunity for residents throughout the spectrum on the economic ladder, that they can participate, that folks aren't left behind.
It means strengthening education, expanding access to health care, and investing in community infrastructure that families need to thrive.
Offering opportunities to our youth so that they can grow up and work in government sector jobs.
It's a true commitment towards new ways of just investing, innovative ways of partnering to really serve these historically underserved areas in our community.
It means that we would be able to strike at the root causes that create systemic barriers to education, healthcare, and job access, and it would set the foundation for a stronger, improved local economy for our cherished traditional communities and cultures.
It's really the lifeblood on how you grow a community.
Streamlining what we're already doing, but really building up that capacity so that we can start to make a difference.
Our local government is interested in advancing economic mobility and opportunity because despite rapid economic growth, we've outpaced our systems of inclusion, creating an adaptive challenge that requires fundamental shifts in behaviors, values, and relationships to ensure that our historically marginalized populations become more connected to our broader economic development ecosystem which we have a lot of partners working in. We know that without intentional coordination across institutions, sectors, and communities, efforts to advance equitable access to opportunity in our city will not represent the voices of our broad community, and we risk reinforcing disparities rather than improving economic mobility despite our growing and thriving economy.
ICMA connects members with economic mobility and opportunity resources and lessons from local leaders on the ground. Join us in reimagining how to achieve even better outcomes for all communities.
So it's so powerful to hear what economic mobility and opportunity means to the leaders, in this video, but also to the actions and the difference that they're making, in really important areas like housing and jobs and essential services for families. Do you want to talk a little bit more about what ICMA is doing for this type of work?
Sure. As you know, this has been a very meaningful area of programming for our team for the last several years. We've been really fortunate to have external funding that's made it possible for us to provide direct funding in the form of grants to over 50 towns, cities, counties all across the country to help advance their work at the local level. So that funding has gone to support things like planning and assessment activities, pilot programs, both creating them and evaluating them, and then most recently, as was mentioned in the video, full-time staff positions that are dedicated to advancing this work, and that's been through the new EMO Special Assistance Program. So, as you know, ICMA does not often find itself in the position to make such resources available, so it's been really exciting to learn from all of these communities and a real privilege. While 50 communities is great, there's a lot of other members out here that could benefit from these resources and what we're learning from those communities, so we do our best to share case studies, lessons learned, and even resources from our partners that are backed by data and evidence about what works to move the needle at the local level. So one specific way we've been doing that in this past year is, as you know, we stood up a brand new national event, a small conference that we hosted last May in Baltimore. So that's a small event exclusively focused on economic mobility and opportunity. We were really excited to have over 350 attendees for the first event. I think one thing that makes that event really unique, and we certainly drew upon your experience and recommendations from leading the National Brownfields Training Conference, is that event really brought together, both in terms of attendees, speakers, and the program. It covered a wide range of topics. We had perspectives from a wide range of sectors and roles, both within local government and outside of government, as well as a mix of local and national thought leaders. So we were really pleased with the feedback, and we are hoping to build on that success and offer a follow-up event in 2026.
Yeah, and I was able to attend, and it was a really, really great event. I loved it. It was really a nice, like you said, a nice range of people from within and outside of local government. I had the option to attend some sessions myself, and I went to some really powerful ones, especially on housing. And I think it was really nice to have that mix of different roles present and national and local perspectives, and it made for really, really rich discussion, which was fantastic. But I also remember a really nice contingent of students, right?
Absolutely, yes, that was by design. So yet one more arm of this programming, and again made possible with that external funding, is we've been able to offer about a dozen small grants to universities that have underwritten capstone courses for up-and-coming public administrators. So these students have been able to engage in an economic mobility and opportunity-focused research project on behalf of a local government in their region. So we featured some of them at the Baltimore conference. We featured some of them here in Tampa, and we also had a really exciting and inspiring conversation to kick off the conference with about 50 or so of the next generation of public administrators, along with some seasoned leaders who were able to network and talk about what it's really like to work on solving these complex problems on the ground. And again, it's really inspiring to hear their commitment to public service and just to know that the future is in very good hands.
Yes, it is, and it's been really wonderful to watch from a staff perspective. But I also just want to ask for anyone else, for members or others that might want to find more information about this work. or engage, maybe even go to events, they can find information on the ICMA website.
Yes.
But then we also have a LinkedIn community that's been really active lately and sharing good information, including job postings.
Yes, that's a new thing that our team launched this year, a community on LinkedIn, so Economic Mobility and Opportunity at ICMA there. And that's our website, icma.org/EMO, is certainly a good one-stop shop for some of these resources, but the LinkedIn community has given us the ability to provide a bit more timely updates from our own team as well as, again, from our partners. It's a bit more interactive. And yes, most recently, and this will continue for the next several weeks, we've been excited to feature a weekly roundup of these very unique job postings that are made possible through the Economic Mobility and Opportunity Special Assistance Program. So anyone can join us there. Just go to LinkedIn and search for EMO-at-ICMA.
Got it. Well, it has been a really busy time for the Innovation and Research team for this work and, of course, for local governments. But I know that we're all looking forward to continuing to support this type of work and thriving communities in the year ahead. But I'm really glad we had, the time and could sit down here in Tampa and talk about this really great work.
For sure. Thank you for spending this time with me here today. And thank you, of course, to our whole team that's been behind this work and made it all possible. And most of all, a huge thank you and congratulations to the local leaders that have been involved in the work featured. They're who we are doing this for, and if we can play a small part in helping them advance their work to build more thriving communities, it's truly an honor.
All right. Well, thank you.